What's up, everyone? We're back. It's been a long hiatus, but we are back to discuss some Champions League football. We're all the way in match day five here on maybe Wednesday, November 27th. And we're going to discuss, I believe there's nine fixtures being played today. We're going to discuss all nine games, give you the best bet. We got two games at 12:45 and seven games in the 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time slot. As always, if you like this content, please do subscribe to the channel. I need to build up this channel. I need to get things going. Like the video and hit the notification bell, share the video, comment down below, man. Really want to get this thing going again. I'm sorry for not posting for like the past month. A lot of shit going on in my life. I had my car stolen, drove it down to downtown Cleveland, take my old lady to the hospital, and my car gets stolen. So, that and then issues with the job and stuff like that. But I'm going to try putting out videos on a regular basis again. I'm back motivated to do it. Been betting this whole time. And that's been up and down a little bit since, over the past month, as it usually is, man. You know how this is. But we're going to get into this. We're going to go over each and every matchup, match day five. This is day two of these match day five fixtures. Um, and of course, what I'm going to do with this video, again, I have mentioned in the past how at some point we're going to do a low risk video and a high risk video. These can be considered the high risk bets. These are going to be all plus 100, so I'm going to try to maximize the value in these picks, but we're going to go ahead and get into it with the, the, the first two 12:45 games, and then we'll get back into the 3 p.m. games. I will say that these fixtures are probably not as hasty as the ones that we had in day one of these match day five fixtures on Tuesday. Just not as quality in terms of the matchups, but we do have a couple tasty matchups, especially that Liverpool Real Madrid. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's start things off with the Red Star going up against Stuttgart. And I will say these two 12:45 games are fit. And that's no disrespect to these teams. It's just looking at these two games and then looking at the two games from today. They're just not as good. We had Milan and then Atletico Madrid. These games just aren't as quality in terms of the matchups, the teams that are playing, the quality of the teams. But we got Red Star Belgrade going up against Stuttgart. Um, and Red Star has performed probably as one of the worst teams in the entire competition. They don't have a single point, haven't scored many goals. Now they did give Barcelona a run for their money in the last game that they played. Stuttgart, on the other hand, they actually beat Juventus in their last matchup. They're dealing with some injuries, including to Undav, who's their leading goal scorer. So their injuries are mostly on the front line, which is an issue for them. Now, this is a team that make creates a lot of chances, actually shoots quite a bit, actually. One of the highest shooting teams in the entire competition, but they don't score as many goals though. So those chances aren't leading to goals. Red Star is a team that hasn't played very well at home in this competition. Probably played better on the road than they have at home. So looking at this matchup, I'm looking at Stuttgart's injuries on their front line, and I'm saying, how is this team going to score? They're still going to be able to shoot the ball. There's no doubt about that because that's just what they do. But how are they going to score goals? I'm not so sure. Red Star is not as banged up. So what I like in this matchup, I like Red Star on the double chance plus both teams to score. I know I just mentioned how is Stuttgart going to score. Well, how is Belgrade going to score? Both of these teams, I see them getting on the board with at least one goal. This isn't my favorite bet on the table by any stretch. In fact, it's probably my least favorite. So I give it 1 star out of five. But let's go ahead with to maximize the value here. Let's go with Red Star and on the double chance plus both teams to score. And then get that at plus 175, so it's good value. And the last of the 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time matchups, we got Sturm going up against Girona of La Liga in Spain, and Another tough game to call. I really am not a big fan of these 12:45 matchups. Sturm has only scored one goal in the competition. Girona is coming off a 4-0 loss to PSV in their last the match day four matchup. Girona has been in better goal scoring form in La Liga over the past few games. However, they're not traveling very well. They're not a very good team on the road. But Sturm Graz is a team that just lost their coach, Ilzer, to Hoffenheim. So they brought in an interim coach. They're a team that's kind of in transition in that regard and from that perspective. So um, I do see both teams getting on the board. So if I'm looking at this again, it's not my favorite bet. Neither one of these 12:45 matchups are. I don't know if I'm going to put my own money on this, but what I would go ahead and do is I would take both teams to score, and then I would take Girona to win the game. So Girona on the money line plus both teams to score. I think you can get plus 275. So you're going to double your money for the risk that you're taking on the bet on that bet. That would be my best bet on that one. Again, I don't think I'm going to put my own money on this one. For the games that I am betting on, I'll go ahead and put that in the comment down below. So take a look at that. Right, and next up we have Monaco going up against Benfica. Monaco has been on a complete tear, especially in League One, and they've been playing pretty well in this tournament as well. They're sitting in third place, I do believe, in the table, so they're doing really well. Benfica has not done as well. They did have that 4-0 victory over Atletico Madrid, but then they've lost in their last one to the Bayern, but since that time, they have played well domestically and they're really on the bounce back. Um, so, looking at this matchup, we got a Monaco team that, as mentioned previously, is playing really, really well at this time. Um, but they have not played that well against Portuguese competition in this tournament. So, it's still a tough one to call. I think all of these games on the slate today are kind of difficult to call, maybe except a couple games here and there. But I think this is a difficult one to call, and it's really difficult to pick a side. But being that Monaco has played so well at home, I think that's really a determining factor for me. So I'm still not going to pick Monaco to outright win the game on the money line, plus a goal total for the game parlay. But what I do like, I will pick a game parlay, but what I'll do is I'll take Monaco on the draw plus both teams to score. I do see Benfica getting on the board. Benfica has a good pedigree in this competition, and I think that matters when looking at this matchup. They haven't played that well against French competition in this tournament, but I just think they'll get the job done in terms of getting a goal on the board. But I do like Monaco. If I was to pick a side that I prefer in this matchup, I do like Monaco. So let's go with Monaco. Double chance plus both teams to score. Next up, we got Zagreb going up against Dortmund. Both of these teams are in the knockout playoffs if the competition were to start tomorrow. Um, Zagreb coming off a win against Bratislava in their last matchup. And then Dortmund themselves, give me 1 second here. Yeah, they're coming off a 1-0 victory over Sturm in their last matchup. And Dortmund has been really, after winning six of their first eight games domestically, have really been kind of on a seesaw ride over the last couple months, have not played well on the road, and that factors in quite a bit into my decision making in this one. Zagreb, on the other hand, has not played very well at home, and they're in third place in their domestic league there in Croatia. So, you know, uh, you look at a team like Zagreb and think they're in first place and winning the league there in Croatia, but they're not. They're in third place. Dortmund, on the other hand, is in, I believe, fifth place in the Bundesliga, um, just behind Leverkusen in fourth place. So, both of these teams are performing pretty well. I think Zagreb is maybe overperforming a little bit relative to Dortmund, which is a staple in the competition. Of course, they went to the final last year against Real Madrid, lost in a matchup where they were in it until what, the 70th minute or whatever, 65th minute. That first half, Dortmund looked like they were the better team. That was, over Real Madrid. But let's get back to this matchup. Zagreb, Dortmund. Um, Here's what I like in this one, okay? And I really, if I was to pick a side, I would pick Dortmund. I think they're the team with the better pedigree. And but they're missing a lot of their scoring options. Adeyemi getting close to return. He's not going to play in this one. Garcia, he may play in some capacity, but I don't think he's going to start. He's probably coming off the bench. But you still got guys like Malin. This team does have scoring options, and I like Malin. He looked good over the international break, playing for the Netherlands. Looked pretty prolific and dynamic and all that good stuff. But this is what I'm going to take in this one. I may bet on this one too. I'm going to go both teams to score because I do see both getting on the board. Zagreb, they can score. And obviously Dortmund can as well. But I like or both teams to score in under 4.5 goals. That gives us a lot of leeway. Both teams to score, so you got two already. That gives us a 2 goal leeway. And then, of course, if you get a fifth goal, then you're fucked. But I think it's worth in trying to find value in this matchup. I think that one's worth a whirl. Um, Both teams to score under 4.5 goals. There you go. Next up, we got Blagna going up against Lille. And for this particular matchup, I'm going to take Lille on the money line. I think Blagna, who hasn't scored a single goal in the tournament up to this point, is just maybe just not ready for this sort of stage. Lille, on the other hand, got Jonathan David, their prolific striker there, who's been playing really well. They've been playing good in League One. So I like Lille on the money line, and you can get that at a really good price of plus 220. So I would go ahead and go for that one. Next game up, it's PSV going up against Shakhtar. And PSV is a team that's within the top 24 of the tournament. Shakhtar is hanging right around the knockoff point. So kind of at that stage where they need to win some games or at least get some results so they can finish within that top 24. They're going to find themselves out of the tournament come January. I do like PSV in this game. I do like Shakhtar, but I do like them at home. And of course, it's kind of difficult for them considering they are a Ukrainian squad to be at home. They're playing at neutral squads either way, but they're not a team that travels well. When it's an away game, they usually come up short. PSV has been on a roll, actually unbeaten their last 12 games at home. That's actually a record for PSV. I just really like the form that this team's in. Ricardo Pepi placing Luke De Jong in the up front in that 9 hole has been on a tear. Um, Both club and country. He did score a goal during the international break for the United States as well. So really like Ricardo Pepi. Really like what PSV has been doing. I think they're one of the best teams, certainly in the Netherlands, but really competing and holding their own on the European stage as well. So I like PSV. Looking for value on this one. It's kind of difficult. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first half money line plus under 2.5 goals. I like PSV first half money line plus under 2.5 goals. We're getting to our last three games, and we got Celtic going up against Club Brugge in Belgium. I like Celtic on the money line in this one. Celtic has really surprised me. I was not on board with Celtic at all. In fact, I picked against them several times in these videos. Club Brugge is a team that it obviously champions in Belgium, and they're one of those teams where I think they try to play a controlled game where they try to win with their defense and kind of get away with the goal, one or two goals to win it, and then let that defense kind of prevail for them, where they win games 1-0, 2-0, maybe, 2-1s, that sort of thing. Celtic, on the other hand, is a team that has just been going all out, going for it in terms of trying to score as many goals as they can. They're also conceding goals. So I do see both teams getting on the board. So it might make sense to do a both teams to score and a Celtic and both teams to score. You know what? I'm going to change my bet here. Rather than just going Celtic on the money line, let's go ahead with Celtic on the money line and both teams to score. Get that bang for your buck, as I like to say. And I think that's where the value is at. So yeah, Celtic money line, both teams to score. All right, next up we got Aston Villa versus Juventus, and I'm saving my two favorite games for the last two picks here. Aston Villa, which started off this tournament really, really hot, beating teams like Bayern, beating teams like Bologna, so on and so forth. Now they're going up against Juventus, a team in Italy that is kind of hitting a wall on themselves. But looking at this matchup, Aston Villa, I mean, they've just been hideous. Their last for probably about the last month, they're just not playing up to par, which surprised me because this is a team that's well coached, and they play a brand of football that is very controlled and good on the defensive side, good in the attack. Juventus, on the other hand, this is a team last year that was mostly just controlled football, win games 1-0. They were the masters at winning the game 1-0. But this year they're a little bit more of attacking minded team. Um, not as much as, other squads out there like your Real Madrids and uh, uh, you know, um, you know, other squads that score a bunch of goals and things of that sort. It's none were coming to mind there, and I apologize for that. But looking at this matchup, I like Juventus on the money line. I just don't like the way Aston Villa is playing right now. I can see them stumbling. Now, this could be a trap game. This could be a trap game where they kind of turn it around. I see this all the time where teams are playing like shit leading up to a game, and then all it takes is one game to turn it around. That could be the case for Aston Villa, based on the evidence. Though I'm going to go with Juventus on the money line. I think that's where the value is. If you can find something where it's even Juventus on the double chance plus goals or both teams to score or whatever it might be, I would go for that. But I would look for Juventus at least on the double chance to get that value. I just think Aston Villa is going through a period right now where um, they're going to need to find their ways out of it. So, me personally, to get the value, I'll go with Juventus on the money line for this one. All right, last up, Liverpool versus Real Madrid. This is the big one, folks. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is the game of the day. This is the game of the tournament. Um, and we have. Here's the only thing. We have a Real Madrid squad that's a bit watered down. They're beat up at this time. No Vinny Jr., no Rodrigo. Their back line is a complete shambles. But this still is Real Madrid. They still have Mbappe up front. They still have Bellingham. They still have, Federico Valverde. They still have Luka Modric. They still have Arda Güler. They still have Endrick. We haven't heard much about Endrick over the past couple months. I wonder what that guy's up to. Is he injured? I don't. Endrick must be injured. I mean, I haven't heard anything about him. So, this is a squad that is banged up, to say the least. But that's not to take anything away from this Liverpool squad that's on a roll, ahead in the Premier League by I believe 8 or 9 points. Just kicking ass in the Champions League, number one on the table. So this is a Liverpool squad that, regardless if they're playing a banged up Real Madrid and they win this game, they deserve it. They deserve all the accolades. They deserve all the praise. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Now, I was initially looking at the possibility just because of the pedigree of Real Madrid in this tournament on the continent. You just never can count them out. It's just they always find a way. But this year, I'll tell you what, they haven't found a way. Like in that game against Lille, I had bet a nice bet for them to just tie that game, to score one goal and at least come away with a draw. It never happened. And this is at the 55, 60-minute mark. You think Real Madrid's going to score a goal. They're going to tie up that game against Lille. never happened. Um, Liverpool, since the word go, they've just been gangbusters. They've been doing it all, scoring goals, defending. Just they're the real deal, folks. They might not be as exciting under Klopp as they are with Slot. They're a little bit more controlled football. That's okay. Whatever it takes to get the job done, and that's what Liverpool's doing, and that's what I think they're going to do today as well. So I got Liverpool, both teams to score. So let me say it again: Liverpool on the money line plus both teams to score. Initially, I said that I was looking maybe for something, both teams to score and Real Madrid on the draw. Didn't like the value that I was seeing. You see the books, they may be expecting a result from Real Madrid as well. I think that's just based on the pedigree. So I'm gonna look for Liverpool to win this game, but I will look for Real Madrid to get on the board. Something like a 2-1 um, finish line or finish score, or maybe even a 3-1, something like that. But I do see Liverpool coming away with the victory, but Real Madrid getting on the board. So there it is. All right, that's all I got for you folks. I know this video is coming out a little bit late for the 12:45 games, but I recorded those two matchups, those two best bets last night. I woke up, recorded the rest of them. I think before the Bologna matchup is what I did last night, and then this morning I did the all the other games. So tried to get done as much as I could last night, but I got tired, went to sleep, meant to wake up a little bit earlier. Didn't happen. So I'm really slacking here. This is what happens when you're unemployed, folks. Not happy about it at all. You know, you guys deserve better than this. But at any rate, if you like the content, please do consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, hitting that notification bell. And listen, we're going to try to put out, consistent content for you guys. And, so that's the game plan here. I'm also going to be starting another channel, maybe even a couple new channels going forward. One might be, kind of just reviewing just a little bit of everything, and the other one we'll talk about that at a later date. But listen, I'm always looking for help on this channel. This is my number one focus here is this betting channel, and if there is anyone out there that is interested in providing betting advice with me and building this channel, full partnership. Um, Give me an email or shoot me an email at betvetted@gmail.com. Until then, I'm also working on my website, betvetted.com. So that'll be up soon. I'll let you guys know about that. But until then, good luck, make some money. Peace out.